Welcome back, friends, to my playthrough of Mass Effect 1 Legendary Edition. Now, this is going to be a special episode because it's not gonna have gameplay in it. Instead, we are going to go over the secondary Codex entries. Because, as you may know, we go over the primary ones as we discover them throughout our gameplay. But I feel like doing that already makes my gameplay feels slow, and the fact that I explore every nook and cranny, so I think in general my gameplay is already slow enough that I didn't wanna put the burden of going over the secondary Codex entries on top of it. But on the other hand, I was still worried that we may miss the context that the secondary Codex entries provide. So that's why I set up a separate episode like this one. And there will be probably more of such episodes in the future. So here's my current plan. So, as you know, we have all of these secondary Codex entries that we haven't viewed so far, and I am going to create these special episodes once we move on to the next mission. So I should have created this episode before we explore the Citadel, the little bit that we did at the end of episode 3. So yeah. Oh, not really actually. We only got one task here under this new mission. So yeah, that's the plan for now. But of course, it may change in the future. Do let me know what you think about our current approach. So now, without further ado, let's check out these Codex entries. First category, Personal History Summary. Background profile for Commander Shepard. Oh yeah, before we begin, the voice actor that does the voiceover for the primary Codex entries, I think, did a great job. So I'll try to match his performance, though I'm very much a newbie, and I'm not even a that fluent of an English speaker. English is not my first language, but I'll try. Who knows, right? Maybe someday down the line I'll become a voice actor or something. This would be the start of that career. if it is at all meant to be. So yeah, let's go. Profile. You were born on Earth, but you never knew your parents. A child of the streets, you learned to live by your wits and guts, surviving in the hidden underbelly of the megatropolises of humanity's homeworld. Eager to find a better life, you joined the Alliance military when you came of age. You were on shore leave at Elysium when the first wave of the Skillian Blitz struck. A massive coalition force of slavers, crime syndicates, and Batarian warlords attacked the human colony, determined to wipe it out. You rallied the civilian inhabitants, leading them in their desperate fight to hold off the invaders. When enemy troops broke through the colony's defenses, you single-handedly held them off and sealed the breach. After hours of brutal fighting, reinforcements finally arrived, and the enemy broke ranks and fled. Because of your actions, Elysium was saved, and you are regarded throughout the Alliance as a true hero. So yeah, this Codex entry basically summarizes our background. If you remember, our John Shepard is an Earthborn war hero And that's why this profile, Codex Entry, is written this way. So yeah, I think I said what I felt about this background in the very first episode, so I won't waste any more of your time. But I really do like this background. I think it makes a lot of sense in terms of the John Shepard that I want to play, which is basically the Space Captain America, Space Steve Rogers. Okay. And next category, Citadel and Galactic Government. A massive space station that serves as the political and economic capital of galactic culture. Oh, we got a lot here. Okay, first entry, Citadel Conventions. These diplomatic talks occurred in the wake of the Krogan rebellions as a response to the destruction of the conflict and an attempt to distance the Council from the brutal Krogan warfare. The conventions regulate the use of weapons of mass destruction. A WMD causes environmental alteration to a world. A bomb that produces a large crater is not considered a WMD. A bomb that causes a nuclear winter is. Use of WMD is forbidden on garden worlds like Earth, with ecospheres that can readily support a population. If a habitable world is destroyed, it will not be replaced for millions of years. The conventions do not forbid the use of WMD on hostile worlds or in sealed space station environments. Many militaries continue to develop and maintain stockpiles. The conventions graded weapons of mass destruction into tiers of concern. Tier 1 is the greatest threat to galactic peace. Tier 1. Large kinetic impactors such as asteroid drops or deorbiting space stations. Excuse me. Effectively free and available in any system in the form of debris left over from planetary accretion, kinetic impactors are the weapon of choice for terrorists and third galaxy nations. Tier 2. Uncontrolled, self-replicating weapons such as nanotechnology, viral or bacteriological organisms, von Neumann devices, and destructive computer viruses. These weapons can lie dormant for millennia, waiting for a careless visitor to carry them on to another world. Tier 3. Large energy burst weapons such as nuclear or antimatter warheads. Tier 4. Alien species deliberately introduced to crowd out native forms necessary for the health of an ecosystem. Ecological tampering can take years to bear fruit, making it difficult to prove. Interesting. 4 tiers of weapons of mass destruction. Okay, so yeah, a nuclear bomb that we know of today is not necessarily considered a WMD, I suppose, unless I misunderstood something. But still, any of these weapons are, thinking of the consequence to that world is such a grim thing, right? Imagine actually coping with the consequences. And one other thing that I find interesting is in this Codex entry, it is revealed that Earth is, is perceived as a garden world, which means a world that contains ecospheres that can readily support a population. So yeah, even in Mass Effect universe, our beloved planet Earth is somewhat special. That's nice. Okay. I also noticed that the secondary codex entries can be much longer than the primary ones. I feel better and better that we set up a separate episode to go over these entries. Okay, next one. Citadel Station, Citadel Security Services, or CSAC. Citadel Security is a volunteer police service answering to the Citadel Council. The 200,000 constables of CSAC are responsible for maintaining public order in the densely populated Citadel. They also provide pirate suppression, customs enforcement, and search and rescue throughout the Citadel cluster. CSAC has 6 divisions. Number 1. Enforcement. Uniformed officers who patrol the Citadel and respond to emergencies. Number 2. Investigation. Detectives who puzzle out the truth behind crimes and bring perpetrators to justice. Number 3. Customs. Screens the thousands of passengers and cargo containers that pass through the Citadel's ports every day. Number 4. Network. Deals with cyber crimes like identity and copyright theft, hacking and viral attacks, and illegal artificial intelligence. Number 5. Special Response. Deals with hostage situations, bombs, and heavily armed criminals. In the unlikely event that attackers board the Citadel, they are also the front line of defense, armed with military-grade equipment. Number 6. Patrol. Naval arm with ships stationed throughout the Citadel cluster. Unlike the other divisions, they are rarely seen at the Citadel, nor do they stay in one place long. Joining CSAC is prestigious. Applications must be sponsored by a Citadel Counselor or the ambassador of an associate council race. Generally, applicants have many years of distinguished service in the military or police forces of their nation, but an inexperienced applicant with demonstrable talent will be fairly considered. CSAC and the Spectres are often at odds. Many CSAC members, notably current executor Venari Palin, believe that allowing Spectres to be above the law is a dangerous practice. The actions of Seren Arterius lend credence to this position. The Spectres, in turn, are aggravated when CSAC's dedication to procedure and due process hampers their investigations. I see, this one is quite the interesting entry. The first interesting point: when I beat this game the first time, and the sequels actually, I always thought that CSAC operates only on the Citadel space station itself. And we didn't go in 2 sentences into this entry and it is already proven that I was mistaken. Sorry, the 3rd sentence rather. Here, they say that basically they operate throughout the Citadel cluster, which I assume refers to, if not outright, actually means the same thing as Citadel space. That's the term that I remember from before. Basically, the regions of the galaxy where people honor the Citadel Council, the conventions, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I was mistaken. They actually operate in a way larger area, which is why it makes sense now that in the cutscenes we already heard several times that it is CSAC CSEC's responsibility to investigate Saren, and from the impression that I get, to some extent also chase him out in the galaxy, right? Now it makes sense for that to happen that way. And yeah, they have 6 divisions here. And we met Executor Palin actually when we explored Citadel, the little bit that we did at the end of the 3rd episode. And yeah, he seems like someone who really deserves the position, I feel. Like, as I mentioned before, he seems like he has a very big picture view of everything. He even acknowledges the necessity of having an organization like the Spectre, people that can sometimes bend the law. His gripes are the fact that some individuals actually abuse such what do you call it, privilege? Yeah, such power, so to speak. And yeah, he even mentioned people like Saren, just like in this Codex entry. So yeah, that's about CSEC, guys. Oh, sorry. We're still gonna be in this category of Citadel and Galactic government. Still have 2 more entries. Okay, Citadel Station statistics. Although the Citadel is equipped with Mass Effect generating Element 0 cores, most of the gravity on the station is generated by the centrifugal force of rotation. Rotation, 3.5 minutes per revolution. Rotational gravity in wards, 1.02 that of Earth. Rotational gravity in Presidium, 0.3 that of Earth. Total length when open, 44.7 kilometers. Diameter when open, 12.8 kilometers. Ward length, 43.6 kilometers. Ward width, 330 meters. Presidium ring diameter, 7.2 kilometers. Presidium ring width, 553 meters. Exterior armor thickness, 13 meters. Population, 13.2 million, not including keepers. Gross weight, 7.11 billion metric tons. Height of the Presidium Tower, 1,047 meters. Okay. I see. I'm not that good of a, what do you call it, 3D thinker, geometric thinker. Like, I basically don't have a good sense of scale. Even after reading this specifications here, but it does give me a better idea of the scale of the Citadel. So particularly interesting is the ward width is 330 meters. If we compare it to places on Earth, obviously it's not that much, right? I thought like each ward is like at the size of like the island of Manhattan or something. Though I'm not I don't know off the top of my head what the surface area of the island of Manhattan is, and now looking at the length, 43.6 kilometers is quite the crazy length actually. It's like the distance between some cities. So I don't know, but the width is interesting. Its ward width is only 330 meters. I think saying only is is permissible, especially compared to my previous assumption of the scale of the Citadel. And yeah, okay. Also interesting is the exterior armor thickness, 13 meters. May not sound like much, but when you think about it, that's like 4 stories building worth of armor. That's actually really thick and sturdy. Population though also interesting, 13.2 million. Perhaps this is comparable to some cities on our current day Earth. And also height of the Presidium Tower, 1047 meters. I think there are a number of towers on our current day planet Earth that are taller than that are higher than the Presidium Tower, of course, but I guess seeing this number gives you a better idea of, again, the scale in this case of the Presidium Tower. That would be about like what, 300-ish story building, right? So yeah, there you have it, the scale of the Citadel. Oh, sorry, I kept going out of the category, but yeah, let's check out the next one. Treaty of Ferrison. Due to the destructive potential of dreadnoughts, the Council races agreed at the Ferrison Naval Conference to fix a ratio of dreadnought construction between themselves. At the top of the pyramid is the peacekeeping Turian fleet. Below the Turians are the other Council races, currently the Asari and Salarians. Council associate races are at the bottom. The Human Systems Alliance is part of this last group. The ratio of Turian to Council to associate dreadnoughts is 5 to 3 to 1. For every dreadnought humans are permitted to build, the Asari have 3 and the Turians 5. Interesting. Really puts us in mind of how powerful, or the comparison between the military might of these races that inhabit the Milky Way galaxy, basically. We've already heard several times at this point that the Turians, that is Nihilus, Executor Palin, and also Saren, their people they hold the military might of the Council of the Citadel, well, the Citadel space. Even Volus, the people such as Din Korlak, becomes a client race of the Turians. For multiple reasons, the Volus are not physically adept, but that also shows how powerful and confident the Turians are to cover for other races. And it makes perfect sense here. The ratio of dreadnoughts is 5 to 3 to 1. Though I suppose this is specifically referring to dreadnoughts, not necessarily the size of the fleet, I suppose. This treaty, I mean. Though, on the other hand, it may also be implied that the size of your fleet is kinda probably have some proportional relationship with the number of the dreadnought you have, right? Probably. So, yeah. Turians are 5 times as powerful as humans, the Turian fleet, roughly. The Asari 3 times. And also the Salarians are 3 times as powerful as us, right? I think that's the understanding. Also interesting that this codex entry in particular is actually shorter than the primary ones. Okay, that's about it for this category for now. We move on to the next one, Humanity and the Systems Alliance. The Alliance is the government and military of humanity beyond Sol. First entry, Systems Alliance, military jargon. Ashore. When a ship's crew leaves the vessel, they are ashore. Though normally used regarding planets, it can refer to boarding a space station. Away. When a ship releases the equipment tethering it to a space station or surface dock, it is away. Aye aye. The proper way to acknowledge an order. If told to attack, the correct response is aye aye sir. If asked, are you proud to be a Marine? The correct response is yes sir. ASAP, pronounced ASAP, an acronym of as soon as possible. Belay, stop, cease. Bridge, the navigation center of a spacecraft, where the steering is done. Captain's mast, non-judicial disciplinary proceedings by unit commanders. CIC, Combat Information Center, the command center of a spacecraft. The CIC is filled with sensor displays to make sense out of the chaos of combat. DC, Damage Control, the containment and repair of damage to a spacecraft. ECM, Electronic countermeasures used to avoid enemy sensors, from passive emissions masking to active jamming. EVA, extravehicular activity, time spent in a pressure suit, outside of a vehicle, spacecraft, or station. Flank. The flank is the side of a military formation. Since the soldiers are facing elsewhere, an enemy that can attack on the flank can often turn it or roll it up. FNG, freaking new guys, a derisive term for inexperienced personnel. Groundside, the surface of a planet. Helmsman, the crew member who pilots a spacecraft. LADAR, light amplified detection and ranging. An active sensor that bounces lasers off an object to determine its bearing and distance. LADAR has sufficient resolution that the data can be reconstructed into an image. Interesting. I believe radar is like radio? Amplified detection and ranging? Please do correct me if I'm mistaken, guys. Shore party, spacecraft crew sent ashore on official business. Silent running, an old submariner's term used aboard the Normandy to denote when stealth systems are active. SITREP, abbreviation of Situation Report, an evaluation of the current military situation. Spacer, someone who has spent most of their life in space. EXO, Executive Officer, the second in command of an Alliance warship. The EXO is responsible for administrative and personnel matters. And sorry, by the way, I didn't mean to stop reading the entry after that LADAR definition there. I just forgot. Perhaps I got too excited, I suppose. But yeah, quite interesting definitions here. Perhaps if we go from the most recent ones, I did question what EXO is, and a cutscene at the end of the second episode, Captain Anderson referred to us as his EXO. Apparently EXO means Executive Officer, the second in command of an Alliance warship, because Captain Anderson is the the first in command, is that the correct term in this case, of the SSV Normandy, and we are the second in command. That's why we are an XO. That's interesting to me. And then Spacer, the only background that has got a mention in this entry. The other one, the other ones are of course Earthborn, and which is what we are, and the Colonist, and Silent Running. Interesting that only the Normandy uses this term, because if I remember correctly, the Normandy is one of a kind in terms of having stealth systems, at least so far. What else? Radar, we already went over it. Helmsman, so Joker is our helmsman. He is the helmsman of the SSV Normandy. What else? I think there's at least one more explanation that I found interesting. I think it's yeah, the bridge. So the bridge is where Joker operates, and in the very first cutscene at least, also Caden. Okay, that's it about this entry. We move on to the next one. Oh, sorry, I kept doing that. I need to stop doing that. The next entry, Systems Alliance, N7. The Alliance Military Vocational Code System classifies the career path of all serving personnel. The MVC consists of one letter and one number. A soldier's MVC indicates proficiency, not rank. The letter notes career path. The number indicates level of experience, as indicated by service record, technical scores, and commendations. All 26 letters are used, and numbers run from 1 to 7. N is the letter code for Special Forces personnel. As is apparent at this point, I believe, Commander Shepard, our very own John Shepard, is N7. That means he is of the Special Forces personnel. He is a Special Forces personnel, I suppose. And he is among the best there is, because here the number indicates level of experience, as indicated by service record, technical scores, and commendations. Interesting. I played my first playthrough like this, checking out the Codex entries, but I forgot this. I've always known that the N7 thing is cool, but I forgot what it means. I'm glad I read this entry, because now I'm reminded of what it means. Special Forces personnel, and one of the best there is. That's our John Shepard. Okay. Oh my god. Muscle memory, guys. I'm working on it. Next entry, timeline. 2069. Armstrong Outpost at Shackleton Crater becomes the first human settlement on Luna. It is formally founded on July 24th, the 100th anniversary of the first lunar landing. 2103. Lowell City in Eos Chasma becomes the first human settlement on Mars. 2137. Eldfell Ashland Energy Corporation demonstrates helium-3 fuel extraction from the atmosphere of Saturn. 2142. Construction of Gagarin Station, or Jump Zero, begins beyond the orbit of Pluto. 2148. Prospectors discover the Prothean ruins at Promethae Planum on Mars. 2149. Translation of Prothean data leads humans to the Charon Mass Relay. Systems Alliance founded to coordinate exploration and colonization of extrasolar worlds. Excuse me. 2151. A shipping accident at Singapore International Spaceport exposes downwind communities to containers of dust form element 0. Alliance begins construction of Arcturus Station. 2152. Roughly 30% of the children born in Singapore after element 0 exposure suffer from cancerous growths. Systems Alliance begins settlement of Earth's first extrasolar colony world, the planet Demeter. 2154. Commander Shepard born. 2155. Systems Alliance occupies completed portions of Arcturus Station as a headquarters. 2156. Some children of Singapore exhibit minor telekinetic abilities. 2157. Turians encounter human explorers. First Contact War. Occupation and liberation of the human colony of Shaanxi. 2158. Humans learn potential of biotics. An international effort to track element 0 exposures begins. Roughly 10% of exposed children show some level of biotic ability. 2160. Systems Alliance Parliament formed. 2165. Humans establish embassy on Citadel. 2170. Batarian slavers attack the Alliance colony of Mindor. 2176. Skillian Blitz. Pirates and slavers attack Elysium, the human capital in the Skillian Verge. 2177. Treasure moths devoured the Alliance colony of Akums. 2178. In retaliation for the Skillian Blitz, an Alliance fleet wipes out an army of slavers on the moon of Thorfinn. 2183. Current date. Okay guys, that's quite a long entry. First things first, I kept on saying that current year is 2187. Clearly I was wrong. All the more reason I am glad that we did the secondary codex entry. Otherwise that mistake would have been carried over to, who knows, the end of this playthrough, I guess. That would have been very, very embarrassing and not to mention confusing. So 2183. Okay, that means Commander Shepard is... He was born on 2154. That means he's 29 years old. Not as old as I thought he would be actually. I thought he would be at least early 30s. Okay. He's actually late 20s. Really puts in mind the very little things I have achieved so far in my life. Oh my god, we have this playthrough to have fun. Why do I feel like a little bit down? Okay, another thing that's interesting is here the most recent years are in reference to our background, or to be more accurate, to be more precise, is it refers all the possible backgrounds. So Skillian Blitz, that's us, that's the war hero, and the Batarian slavers attack the Alliance colony of Mindor, that's for colonist, for Commander Shepards with the colonist background. I think the one about Thorfinn is for the ruthless Commander Shepards out there. Again, do set me on the correct path if I'm mistaken, guys. but I find that interesting. What else? Yeah, I think the thing about the Singapore accident with the element 0, I think we heard about it from one of the primary Codex entries. So yeah, interesting. 2152 children were exposed to element 0, and then 4 years after that, some of them exhibit minor telekinetic abilities. But yeah, unfortunately, I think most of the exposed children suffer from cancers without developing any other what quote-unquote beneficial effects of biotics. So yeah, still very much a tragedy, 2152. And yeah, also if we pay attention here, as explained by Captain Anderson before, discovering that Prothean data cache on Mars jumped humanity technology up 200 years. And it's kind of implied here in this entry how on 2069 we create a human settlement on Luna, and it's a very sparse development here. The next recorded year is 2103, 2137, 2142, and then we discover the data cache, the Prothean ruins on Mars in 2148, and then after that the recorded year is basically the next or the year after the next from the last one. Shows how rapidly advancing were the technology of humanity at that point, up to the current year of 2183, not 2187. Okay, that's it for that category. We move on to the next one: ships and vehicles, the technologies of space travel and surface mobility. Starships sensors. Light lag prevents sensing in real time at great distances. Excuse me. A ship firing its thrusters at the Charon relay can be easily detected from Earth, 5.75 light hours or 6 billion kilometers away. But Earth will only see the event 5 hours and 45 minutes after it occurs. Due to the light speed limit, defenders can't see enemies coming until they have already arrived. Because there is FTL travel and communications but no FTL sensors, frigates are crucial for scouting and picket duties. Passive sensors are used for long-range detection, while active sensors obtain short-range, high-quality targeting data. Passive sensors include visual, thermographic, and radio detectors that watch and listen for objects in space. A powered ship emits a great deal of energy: the heat of the life support systems, the radiation given off by the power plants and electrical equipment, the exhaust of the thrusters. Starships stand out plainly against the near absolute zero background of space. Passive sensors can be used during FTL travel, but incoming data is significantly distorted by the effects of the massive effect envelope and Doppler shift. Active sensors are radars and high-resolution LiDARs, or laser detection and ranging, that emit a ping of energy and listen for return signals. LiDARs have a narrower field of view than radar, but LiDAR resolution allows images of detected objects to be assembled. Active sensors are useless when a ship is moving at FTL speeds. So sorry guys, I'm just butchering this pronunciation. Voice actor my foot. But every journey starts with the first step, right? So here we are. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I don't catch much of this codex entry through a single reading. So okay, let's go over it a little bit more. So what I caught are passive sensors, active sensors, passive for long range, active for short range and high quality. There's LiDAR and radar. We heard about LiDAR before from the military jargon codex entry, if I remember correctly. Okay, but I didn't quite get this light lag thing. Wait a bit. Okay. Okay, so FTL is very, like, faster than light travel is very, how should I say, very crucial for ambushes and stuff like that then, because here it says defenders can't see enemies coming until they have already arrived due to light lag, right? I wonder how that would, how for example Shepard and crew would observe something like that. I wonder if we will observe something like that in the game actually. A ship firing its thrusters at the Charon relay can be easily detected from Earth. Very far away, but only 5 hours and 45 minutes after it occurs. So theoretically, I'm not sure if the Charon relay can bring people to Earth, but if a ship goes to the Charon relay, make use of it to go to Earth, 5 hours and 45 minutes after they use the mass relay, we observe it on Earth. But through FTL travel provided by the Charon relay, that ship we observe probably reaches Earth in less than 5 hours and 45 minutes, right? I think that's what it means. But then how do you detect any FTL ever then? Here it says frigates are crucial for scouting and picket duties. So I'm not sure what picket duties mean in the first place. But I guess this means frigates are peppered throughout the galaxy, I think. So that when people FTL inside a region that are guarded by frigates, they got shot, right? I think that's what this sentence means. Now, all of you Mass Effect lore masters, if you're watching this video, please do correct me if I'm mistaken. But I think that's what it means. It kind of makes more sense now. Okay. I really do need to read this codex entry in particular several times over to understand it. Okay, that's about it for that category. Let's move on to the next one. Technology. The everyday pieces of technology that support the modern lifestyle. Entry number 1. Biotics. Biotic amps. Biotics manipulate mass effect fields using dozens of element zero nodules within their nervous systems that react to electric stimuli from the brain. Amplifiers allow biotics to synchronize the nodules so they can form fields large and strong enough for practical use. Amplifiers can improve a specific discipline or talent. An implant is a surgically embedded interface port. An implant is a surgically embedded interface port into which amps are plugged in. On humans, the implant is usually placed at the base of the skull for convenient access, though the user must be careful to keep it free of contaminants. Implant ports can fit a variety of amps, and there is a growing market for modifications and add-ons. The finest quality implants and amps are manufactured by Asari artisans, but the Alliance's L3 implants, first deployed in 2070, are a significant step forward. I see. We have a conversation roughly relating to this entry with Dr. Chakwas, in which she mentioned that Caden, which I believe this is a picture of Caden to the top right of our screen right now. Caden is equipped with an L2 implant, which is very rare in circulation at this point. Most everybody else, I suppose, are using L3 implants. The fact that Caden uses L2 gives him migraines, which is considerably already a much better side effect compared to others, because other L2 implant equipped biotics suffer much worse side effects, as explained by Dr. Chakwas. I see, so 2 components, amplifiers and implants. The amps are plugged into the implants. Okay. Interesting. By the way, this is one of the reasons why I chose and have been enjoying very much the fact that our John Shepard is just a soldier, right? It makes sense for him not to know these things. Though, I suppose it would make sense for a soldier to learn more about biotics, of course, but it's not weird that Shepard doesn't know about these kinds of stuff because he is not blessed with such powers as biotics or tech, right? So, yeah, I think it makes him a very nice, kind of like an everyman hero kind of thing. Yeah, so I really like it. Okay, communications. Oh, I didn't make that mistake of getting out of the category. Nice progress, guys. The next entry is communications. Real-time communication is possible thanks to networks of expensive mass relay convoys that can daisy-chain a transmission via lasers. Convoys are maintained in patterns built outward from each mass relay. The buoys are little more than a cluster of primitive miniature mass relays. Each individual buoy is connected to a partner on another buoy in the network, forming a corridor of low mass space. Tight beam communications lasers are piped through these tubes of FTL space, allowing virtually instantaneous communication to anywhere on the network. The networks connect across regions by communications lasers through the mass relays. With this system, the only communications delay is the light lag between the source or destination and the closest buoy. So long as all parties remain within half a light second, or 150,000 kilometers of buoys, seamless real-time communications are possible. Since buoys are maintained in all travel areas, most enjoy unlimited instant communication. ships only suffer communications lag when operating off established deep space routes around uninhabited outer system gas giants and other unsettled areas. During wartime, convoy networks are the first target of attack. Once the network is severed, it can take anywhere from weeks to years to get a message out of a contested system. In systems where a buoy network has not yet been built or has been destroyed, rapid communication means ferrying information through high-speed courier ships and unmanned data drones. Okay, kind of butchered that last sentence there, but basically, yeah. That's how communications are done in the world, I guess in the galaxy of Mass Effect. Interesting. So basically, the communications network are made out of mini mass relays that creates tubes of FTL space through which messages in the form of lasers, or at least transmitted by lasers, travel from one end of the galaxy to the other. This is considerably much easier to understand for me compared to the sensors entry, even though they are of this similar nature, right? Explaining how things work. For some reason, this is easier for me to understand. But yeah, interesting that there may still be some lag. Between the source or destination and the closest buoy. But if every buoy and also the mass relay, then I suppose, is within 150,000 kilometers of each other, communication will be seamless. Interesting. And also interesting, of course, this part about wartime makes perfect sense. Hit one of the convoy networks, they cannot communicate, they cannot coordinate, ambush them, and yeah, due to FTL, we can ambush considerably easily in the first place, barring the frigates, of course, at the very end of the relays, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, a strategic mind would put frigates at the end of a relays or around relays. I think FTL happens from one relay to another, right? So yeah, a strategic mind would put frigates around mass relays so people don't ambush as easily. But then again, this strategy of hitting the communications makes perfect sense. Not sure what the follow-up should be, but yeah, interesting nonetheless. Okay, final category for today, weapons, armor, and equipment. Advances in technology have made individual soldiers more dangerous and survivable than ever before. Upgrades. The development of practical manufacturing omni-tools allows modern militaries a great deal of flexibility in equipment loadouts. A vast number of field modification kits, or upgrades, are available for common equipment such as weapons, armor, omni-tools, biotic amps, and even grenades. An upgrade kit typically consists of less than a dozen unique parts and an optical storage disk. When loaded into an Omni-tool, the OSD provides all technical specifications required to manufacture the tools and additional parts necessary to install the upgrade onto another piece of equipment. Assembly is typically modular, and installation can be completed in less than a minute. Since Omni-tools are designed to use common battlefield salvage materials such as plastics, ceramics, and light metals, rendered into semi-molten Omni-gel for quick use, it is quite possible for a trained soldier carrying upgrade kits to customize gear on the battlefield to fit the current tactical situation. Interesting. Yeah, already from the first sentence, it's interesting to me. There's a new term, a Mass Effect specific term, I'm pretty sure, manufacturing. Manufacturing using Omni-tools. And we learned about the Omni-tools from, I believe, the previous episode 3. We read the entry, we listened rather, to the primary Codex entry about Omni-tools. Yeah. And we already applied some upgrades to Shepard, Ashley, and even to Caden throughout gameplay. So yeah, this is a Codex entry that is very, very relatable, I find. Yeah, weapons, armor, Omni-tools, biotic amps, even grenades, everything is upgradable. And yeah, the ease of use is made possible through the OSD, among other things. And yeah, also interesting that installation can be completed in less than a minute. That is what happens when we put the upgrades in our equipment screen. In world, it actually takes less than a minute, which actually similar to how it feels through the equipment screen. So yeah, again, it's very nice that they have lore explanation for even in-game mechanics. And everything is, most everything I think so far has been well written. All of these Codex entries, both the primary ones and the secondary ones. But yeah, look at the time, guys. We have just ever so slightly past the 1 hour mark. As you may know already, I intend to make the episodes about an hour long each. I was worried that this special episode would actually be much shorter, like just 15 minutes, 30 minutes. But I guess this is a testament of my innate ability to waste your time. I hope you didn't find this as a waste of time, but yeah, I enjoy reading these Codex entries. I enjoy listening to the primary Codex entries. And yeah, I just wanna immerse myself in all this lore about the Mass Effect universe. So yeah, I think I'm gonna save my game off camera just so that the next time we have this special episode, we will get the proper highlights to the entries that we would have yet to view at that point. So yeah, that's about it for this special episode. Thank you very much once again, as always, for watching this video up till the end. And I hope to see all of you in the next video. We are going to continue our gameplay next time. And yeah, see you in the next video, and have a good day, everyone.